Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Kick Dick back here. Welcome to another Philly Shakedown podcast. We are five days away from the draft, and we got crazy, insane, maybe amazing news happening with the Eagles. We're going to get into it in a second. But Joey, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. Yeah, 5 days. The last regular shakedown before we'll be streaming all 3 days of the draft. So I'm pumped. I'm pretty excited. We've been waiting for it, and it's almost here.
Long 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Get that caffeine. Get them caffeine pills ready.
Right.
Jaden, what's going on? Supernova, Lit City, Alfredo, JJ Rock Philly. What's up, everybody? Twits. What's going on? Mike is here. A lot of people are here. HTG, what's going on? Georgia, Philly Nation, 307, Philly Wyatt's here. What's going on, everybody? Sorry if I missed you guys. First thing I want to do is I want to end this poll. I had a poll on my channel, and the poll question was, who would you rather have, Bijan Robinson or Derrick Henry? And 66% of the people who voted said Bijan Robinson over Derrick Henry. It was 98 votes total. That's pretty interesting. And for those that don't know kind of what we're talking about, we're just going to go over this for a second. I guess the middle of the night, last night, there was a tweet that came out by Akbar Giamilla.
Yeah, don't even try.
And basically, we can't say his name, but basically, he put this tweet out saying, "Breaking, move out the way. Derrick Henry is headed to the Eagles." Now, a lot of people were flipping out, like, "What do you mean? You're lying. You're just saying that." And nobody really had heard anything about this. And this was like the first tweet to come of it. And I guess when people looked into it, what they found was that he actually is with the same agency as Derrick Henry. So there seems like there's something to this. How much, we don't know. Right. But what are your thoughts on this overall?
I think it was like a month ago we heard like that the Titans were, Titans have a new GM now that, maybe they were trying to shop him or they were taking calls at one point, but we didn't know like if anything really transpired after that, and it really was quiet. So that tweet happened at 3 a.m. You talked about the same agencies. This is such a random dude because if you guys don't know who that guy is, like he used to play in the NFL, but he actually he's a host on the show of American Ninja Warrior. If you guys don't watch that show, he actually is a host on there. There obviously you could put the other tweet up, the other one as well. I think that one's interesting too. Of it may be somebody that he knows. That there's some buzz around the Eagles having interest in Derrick Henry.
You're talking about this one here.
That one, yeah. I think what's interesting about that is this could be a plan B move, which I can definitely see that. And when you really think about it like Jalen Hurts, right? His cap hit's only $19.5 million the next 2 years, and then you have Derrick Henry now. That could be an after draft type trade if they don't get Bijan. And Derrick Henry only has like about $10.5 million on the last year of his deal. So that's a pretty interesting contract that you could spread out, with an extension if you want to win now. And this is the guy that they want. And, maybe they take another one from the Titans. I know AJ Brown's been on Twitter kind of talking like, hey, let's go get him. Let's bring him back. Let's bring him to Philadelphia. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
It really
so Yeah, Kendall Beck said this. There's definitely some truth to the Derrick Henry report / rumor. It's way too random for it not to hold weight, which I totally agree with. He says, if something was to happen, it likely wouldn't come until post-draft. Henry could be a plan B if the Eagles don't land Bijan Robinson or Gibbs in the draft. That makes some sense. No doubt about it. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. Let me say this. Army 36B, a member for 31 months with tinfoil dingbat. Shout out to you. He says, yo, what's up, fellas? Ready for this draft? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, we're ready. We're ready. I don't. It's interesting. JD Koch says, Howie said it's about quality, not quantity. I can see them trading up to 7 with the Raiders. Well, yeah, I could too. I definitely could. Clark, a member for 16 months of double moonwalkers. He says, Ayo 500 Joey Shakes. Henry could be post-draft signing if we don't get our running back in the draft. Also, 16 months. Let's go. 16 months, man. Thank you for the support, man. I appreciate it so much. My thoughts are this. There's only one guy in the NFL that could be on the move that's a running back that I would want over Bijan Robinson. That would be Derrick Henry. He would be the only guy I would consider because I think Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. And you put Derrick Henry behind the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, it's nasty. It's absolutely nasty. I know he's 29 years old. I know he's had a lot of carries. I think he can give you another 2 to 3 years. I do. So I think if you had the opportunity to do it, I would do it. Now, I would not give a first-round pick for him.
No.
I might not even do a second-round pick. It may be like a third-round pick. So it really depends what they have to give up. But if the Eagles were to get Derrick Henry, then the plan has to become, after that, you have to go up and get Jalen Carter. Like, to me, that would be the key move after getting Henry, if they were, Who would you prefer, Henry or Bijan Robinson?
Oh, I think from a financial standpoint, I think you want to get Bijan because you won't have to pay, obviously the $10.5 million that they'll spread out, but obviously he'll make some money. They'll actually pay him a little bit. I don't know. I think a good idea they could do if they want Henry in this draft, if they think they're just like, you know what, let's not do Bijan. Let's go get Derrick Henry. Let's use him to win now in a nice rotation where you don't have to run the crap out of Derrick Henry with this rotation this year. You can actually move back with the Titans instead of giving them or giving us a mid-round pick. So move back from 10 to 11, and then we'll take Derrick Henry off your hands. They save $6.5 million and call it a day. So for me, I would want to draft Bijan, but obviously if they could get more out of this draft and want to get Bijan as their plan B, get Derrick Henry as their plan B, they could go after other positions of need and maybe move up for Jalen Carter. So
yeah, I agree. New Zealand Philly fan, thank you for super chat. He goes, Jonathan Taylor would be better. Colts are rebuilding. I like Jonathan Taylor. I do. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him being moved. Have you heard anything about? No, I haven't either. Rylan says, yo, Philly, do you think Henry is better than Barkley? Just curious, brother. Love the show. I do. Yes, I think he is. Yeah, I think so. I think Henry has been the most dominant running back over the last 2-3 years at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, if there was one running back that I would not mind that's older, veteran, it would be Derrick Henry. However, at the same time, I do want the young running back for 4 to 5 years. That's going to be, there. Derrick Henry, how long would he come in? 1 year? So, I don't know. I like the idea that it could be a fallback thing if the draft doesn't work out as planned, So, it's going to be interesting. I hope whatever it is, it happens soon.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now we only heard that. We heard that one rumor today. And there hasn't been anything since. Nothing since. Nobody else has come and said, no, this was not true, blah, blah, blah. Nobody came out to deny it. Nobody came out to confirm that they've heard other things. It was just one random tweet that's out there. So it's kind of crazy, But, he was, there were fans asking him, or accusing him of lying and stuff. And he's like, just remember I said it. Like, he was very confident that this was going to go down.
Yeah, it was such a random tweet from the most random person to the point where it's like, why would he just put that tweet out 3 a.m.? I don't know why he'd put it out so late. And then, maybe he heard some rumors. I don't know, but he hasn't tweeted anything out since. And we haven't heard from any top writers around the league about the rumors of that tweet. So maybe it's something in secret right now.
Yes, it's very wild. Freddie, thank you for super chat. He goes, what is your guys' top 3 positions you think we need? Need-wise, what are your top 3, would you say?
I'd say defensive tackle. I'd say safety. I'd probably say offensive tackle, to be honest, or at least tackle or guard right now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we talked about running back so much, but I mean, like more of a need right now is probably those 3 for not counting.
I think you need a defensive tackle. I think you need another, and this is no order, but I think you need another defensive tackle. I think you need another running back. I think you need another offensive lineman, and I think you could use linebackers.
Yeah,
I think those are things of need. That's how I see it. Fan of the Batman, thank you for super chat. He goes, just joined. What's Henry's worth? Also, thanks for the hat. Oh, you got your hat. Very cool.
Good job, man.
Very cool. I mean, I'm not giving up a first-round pick for a running back. Not a 29-year-old running back. I don't know if I'm giving up a second for a running back, especially if I'm getting him only for 1 year. I think a third-round pick is probably where I would.
He's got miles. He's got miles on him. He's got miles on him too.
Yeah. I think maybe like a third, something like that is what I would give.
Yeah.
I can't give up two first-round picks for. I can't give up a first-round pick.
If he was like 25, 26, it'd be a different story. I think he'd be worth a little bit more, but
yeah. John Jones, Henry's 29. He turned 29 in January. So he'd be 29 most of the year. I think he could give you 2 years. That's about it. I mean, he is older, you know what I mean? Twit says, I don't want a 29-year-old back. Draft 5, we were getting a back. I think this is the one thing that this is proving, though, is I think that the rumor is real. I think there's something to it. Don't know how serious, but he obviously heard something. What it tells you, though, is the Eagles are looking for a running back. The Eagles are not satisfied with the backs that they have. So, when you take that and then you take about everything Howie said at his press conference about, at 10 you want impact players. You don't really worry about the position. You worry about how of an impactful player they're going to be. I think Bijan Robinson is in play unless they pull a trade for Henry or something to that effect.
It could be how the board falls too. It might be like a how the board falls type of thing, where if they really don't think Bijan's going to be there, they might go the second route. But we heard from Howie Roseman at that press conference that he had. Like, I want to know from him, like, how is he treating the 10th overall pick? Is he treating it as like best player available, impact player, high ceiling? What is he treating that pick as? And seemed like he wants a productive guy that's going to be in there. Who's going to be the best guy at 10 that's going to literally get on this roster and produce first day?
From what we heard from the press conference that we heard the other day, and then if you look at what they, go look and listen to what he says about what, like after they drafted Devontae Smith, they want an impact player. They want somebody that's impactful, unique, somebody that could be a game changer. That's what they want. And that's what they're looking for at 10. To me, there's 3 guys:
right?
Anderson, Carter, and Bijan.
True.
So I think he's in play, man. I really do. Skid Marks, thank you for super chat. He goes, Henry, Carter, and Smith, book your Super Bowl tickets, right? I think Henry, or I think Bijan or Henry both, but I think Henry would obviously puts you right back in the Super Bowl. I mean, dude, this guy, could you imagine playing behind this offensive line? Like, how do you stop this offense? You have Derrick Henry back there with Jalen Hurts. Then you have to worry about the passing game, and you got the best offensive line. I mean, that's scary, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you always have those dreams of what running backs could run behind this line. I mean, Derrick Henry, that's definitely one that we've always thought about this whole entire offseason when we got into all these running backs that, veteran guys that were wanting out of their teams or guys that were going to get traded. And this is definitely one that could be very realistic. So,
yeah. Bob Brown says, Bijan's impact on our offense should be greater than any player available to draft for defense. Bijan reduces the chances of Jalen getting unnecessary hits. 5 years is better than 1 year. Bijan, and don't look back. And hey, listen, I'm totally good with that. I have no problem with it. My thing is, if it's going to be a veteran running back, it has to be the only guy to me that makes sense would be Henry. Everybody else, like, I don't want anything to do with Zeke Elliott. I don't want anything to do with any of these other running backs. That he would be the only one that I would be like, okay, I can live with it. But I think if we're realistically, logically thinking about it and thinking it out, I think it's still better to go probably Bijan in the draft.
right.
You just get caught up in the emotions of Derrick Henry. Let me tell you, I saw Derrick Henry play in high school. I was living in Florida at the time, a town called Fernandina Beach, and it was on the board right next to it was on this town called Yulee. And he went to Yulee High School, and I was driving by. It was a Friday night, and I was coming back from work because I was working out there, and the high school was they were all playing football, and I was like, I feel like going and watching the game. So I just went and started watching this game, and there was this big dude running back that ran for like 300 yards, like 4 or 5 touchdowns. I can't remember how much it was, but it wound up that was Derrick Henry. He was playing for Yulee Yellow Jackets, I think. And eventually, he went to the pro side. I have a real liking for Henry because I saw him in high school,
Right.
But Dad says 21-year-old rookie on a 5-year deal. If Bijan falls through, grab Henry. I like that. I like that idea. I like that tweet because it makes sense that if it don't work out and you lose out on the running back, then boom, you go and you trade for Henry. That makes sense. And I'd have to look how his contract's structured, but I wonder what his post June 1st like what it would cost to get him post June 1st.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What's it? Kaz Hana 877. Remember for 11 months of Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for your support. What's up, King Dingbat and Joey? What's going on with you? How are you?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. JD Kosh says everybody acts like Bijan is so great. I saw stats that Israel, but I can never pronounce his name, has just as the same stats last year, had more touchdowns and ran faster at the combine. Then if he's so much better, then why isn't he going in the first round? I mean, people say, well, the guy had the same stats. He did this. I watched that kid. I thought he was okay. I don't know how you can look at him and think he's as good as Bijan Robinson. And obviously, the rest of the NFL does not agree with you because they're taking. He's going to be the first running back off the board. So I don't believe that kid's as good as Bijan Robinson. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, and more on Bijan news too. So he had an interview on ESPN a couple of days ago, and they were asked of him he only went to 2 pre-draft visits. That's it.
I know.
He went to the Eagles and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now the Bucks have the 19th overall pick. Remember we talked about that that mock trade that we saw that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now with Tampa Bay involved, now they could have a lot of interest. They could try to move up. So maybe the Eagles can't afford to trade back in this draft. They think maybe they still want Bijan. The Patriots are another team that have been rumored to really like him as well at 14.
Yeah.
Bijan talked about the pitch. Howie's like, I'm going to pitch you something. And Bijan's like, all right. And Howie's like, why should we take you at 10? And Bijan was like, I'm not just a running back. I'm a difference maker. And that was probably the best answer I've heard. That made me really happy to hear him say that.
Yeah, and apparently Howie was like, "That's a hell of a pitch," and we've been saying it. We've said on this show, don't look at Bijan Robinson as a running back. Look at him as a weapon. And when you think about we're giving Jalen Hurts another weapon, it makes a lot more sense You know what I mean? For those that can't get over the whole running back narrative, I don't believe in that whole running back narrative. It under the right circumstances, meaning if you're the New York Giants taking Saquon Barkley at number 2 when you clearly have to rebuild, you're stupid. That's a stupid pick.
Right.
If you're a contender that just was in the Super Bowl and you could get a running back to make your team better, you don't not do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the moment you do it. Chris Brown, thank you for super chat. Because a lot of defensive backs are scared to death if we pick Henry. Listen, Henry would scare a lot of teams with the Eagles. I just don't know how you stop that. The thing is they're probably not going to run Henry 20-something times a game either.
No.
So you may save him. You may add 2-3 years to his career by doing that. Sydney family, David Super Chat, he goes, Henry would mean get Carter Murphy and a Dewan Jones, Osiris Torrance. Wow. Yeah, exactly. I think if for example, the Eagles were to pull off a trade for Derrick Henry, and here's the one I was thinking, maybe the Titans want to do this and they want to do it in a way where they're going to flip picks with the Eagles. They go from 11 to 10 because that 10th pick, there may be a quarterback there, and teams may be looking to jump Tennessee. And Tennessee may be trying to get up to 3. So they might want more assets, and they might want to switch from 11 to 10 with the Eagles. So that could be a scenario too.
Right.
But I think the play has to be, if you were to trade for Henry, then I think the play has to be go up and get Jalen Carter. That's what I would have to do.
Yeah, if that's the plan, I would do it. I would definitely do it. Definitely have to move up.
Sydney found the day for super chat. Oh, I think I read it. Yeah, I read it, but thank you so much. Kenneth Barber says Chase Young, trade for Young or Montez Sweat from the Commanders. I don't know what people think they're going to trade Chase Young or Sweat though, because they're getting new ownership, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't think it was going to happen. I like Montez Sweat a lot.
Yeah, Young's got, I don't know, with the injury history on top of it, I don't know if he could stay healthy.
Yes. Skid Marks, the favorite super chat goes, if B-Rob is a weapon, then Henry is a nuke. Well said. Well said.
Right.
The thing with Henry is he's not going to give you out of the backfield in the passing game what I think Bijan Robinson could give you. That's what you're not going to get as much. But I mean, from a running standpoint, like wearing teams down and you think about the Eagles offensive line, some of the holes they have, pause. And then you put Bijan Robinson, you put Derrick Henry behind it.
Yeah. I know people are worried about maybe some injuries, that Bijan is that Henry has had in the past. I mean, usually these running backs that hit 29, hit 30 years old, they've already, most of these running backs that you see are going to have dealt with injuries in the past. That's just, they get banged up, man. That's what the crappiest, parts of that's, that position is. You're going to get banged up, especially how Tennessee used him. It's been kind of crazy. So,
yeah. Dad says Henry's injuries worry me, but if we miss out on Bijan, I would love to have him. If I like the idea that that's a fallout plan. I kind of like that idea that it's like a backup plan to Bijan. That makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John Jones says, who is 6'3"? This man right here, Derrick Henry. He is 6'3", and he's 29, turned 29 January 4th, and he had 349 attempts last year. It means he gets over 300 carries like every year. He's still at 1,538 yards, 13 touchdowns, and average 4 yards a carry. So dude, he still can play.
Behind a hurt offensive line, demand.
Right.
Right. Crazy.
Right, and a line that doesn't have an offense that doesn't have a good quarterback, right? You don't worry about those quarterbacks,
receivers,
and then the receivers they didn't have. So just from I did my whole thing this all season was improve the offense, and make it scarier. Give your defense time to kind of regroup over the next 2 years and let your offense carry you. Bijan Robinson. Derrick Henry, a move like that is what exactly we've been talking about. That's the move to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Options are open.
Fabio Davis Super Chat goes, Henry would be good for pass protection. Yeah, that is true. Although they say, Robinson, I don't think he's that bad in pass protection either. But I mean, yeah, Henry would be. It's gonna be interesting. If I had to guess, my gut tells me there's something going on with Bijan, with Derrick Henry and the Eagles, and it sounds like I think it makes sense that it's a backup plan. But I think the Eagles, I tell you what, after hearing Howie Roseman speak the other day, I feel like they're going after Bijan Robinson, dude. I think they're going after him, dude. I think they're going after him.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's going to keep his cards to himself. We're not going to know anything, but like when you hear the rumors of, the pre-draft visit went really well, and I don't think Howie Roseman cares about the past narrative. Those rumors of Howie. Someone asked him about drafting a running back high, and how you see him on New Heights in that podcast. He's he's cursing, and he's like, he don't care. Like, whatever he thinks is going to do to help your offense. Like, he's talking about impact player at 10. Like, don't you think what's going to be a bigger impact for you, Philly? Is it going to be getting Jalen Carter? Do you think he's going to flourish as soon as he starts with this defensive line? Or do you think Bijan, even though both will produce, who's going to produce more right away between Bijan and Jalen Carter? Yeah.
Bijan Robinson will.
Right.
Because he's going to play and he's going to start right away. Carter is going to rotate in. So I don't know he's going to get enough snaps. But but saying that, I would still go Carter over Bijan Robinson, because I just think his upside is just too great. But yeah, I hear you. John Jones says this would be tough because Henry's a bulldozer and so is Roberts. It is tough. It's interesting. I mean, it was such a out there tweet. Like, what the hell? This tweet just came out of left field, and then you haven't heard anybody, Elliott Shore-Parks, John Clark, any of those guys. Nobody has followed up on it at all. That's weird to me.
True.
It's
true.
So Blaze Davis Super Chat, he goes, it's hard to look past Bijan's elite elusiveness and vision. As much as I would love Henry, my gut tells me we go with Bijan for 5 years. Yeah, when I did my video earlier today, I was just so emotional because I really like Derrick Henry. And but the more I think about it now, I think you have to, I think if you could get the young back, you get the young back because of the long, of the fact that you'll have him for 5 years, you'll have him for $4 million. However, I'm not going to be upset one bit if they get Derrick Henry. I'm not. And if that's the backup plan, I'm okay with it. And if it's not the backup plan and they feel like, listen, we got to land this kid now, I'll be okay with it,
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Supernova says DeJuan Jones 6'3" or 6'8". I'm sorry, I read that wrong. 6'8", 380 pounds, Philly 500. He can play tackle and guard. That's a big dude right there. Hey, listen, I think the Eagles love any offensive lineman that can play multiple positions on the line becomes very, very valuable. And if he can play both, I absolutely love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Joker's Oblivion says, give me Henry for a second-round pick and get it done. If I'm giving a second-round pick for Henry, I have to be getting Henry for multiple years. So he's in the last year of his contract, right? He's got $10 million. So they would have to restructure him. Maybe there's something that's going to go down, and maybe the only reason it hasn't yet is because of the restructuring. And let me ask you this. If they were to land Henry, how much do you think A.J. Brown played a part in them bringing him?
A lot.
Yeah.
Tremendously, yes. Because I obviously knows him more. Obviously they play together, and I think so. I think they liked listening to their players. They even with bringing the A.J. Brown thing. Like, there was no news on this. Like, we saw Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown practicing together, and it was just they took a picture, and that was it. And we're talking about it, and people said it would never happen. You can't doubt this GM. Like, anything could happen. could be planned the day before the draft. This happened like a couple days before the draft. Like literally they had something in place and they got it done. So
listen. Last year, we had the draft 5 hats. We've been talking about Bijan. We've gotten a lot of like negative things about wanting Bijan. But let me tell you, it doesn't even compare to the amount of crap that we went through last year when we even suggested that the Eagles trade one of their first-round picks for a veteran wide receiver and then extend him. We took so much heat for that.
Yeah,
that was worse to me than Bijan Robinson, because a lot of people can look at the Eagles and say, yeah, you need a running back. But hardly anybody wanted to agree with us on that move.
We're only report, like, as content creators, we're only reporting on what's out there. And me and Philly, we like to go into the offseason is probably one of our favorite points of the year, because it's all speculation, it's all rumors, but that's what makes the offseason exciting. Whether we're right, whether we're wrong, it doesn't matter. Like, we just have opinions about things, and we're not always right, but when we are, it feels good that, we might have said something that, a signing or a trade or, anything can happen. So, it's always a fun time for us.
Yeah. But. And James Herr, a member for 18 months of Dingback Nation. He says, "Sup, Philly? How's your day? Pound NFL draft, pound Cowboys for life. Cowboys for life. Ugh. But hey, man, thank you for being a member. I did see you tweeted also. You asked me if something was wrong with the membership, the milestones. It doesn't show up on StreamYard, so a lot of times we don't even see it. I have to go back.
Right.
That's what happened. Joe says, sadly, it seems like when a running back hits the wall, it's sudden, and I'm only interested in Henry if we don't get Bijan Robinson. Henry's a beast, and he looks great here. But I have a choice. I'm taking 5. Yeah, I think sitting here talking about it tonight, I'm thinking about it and just taking the emotions out of getting a Derrick Henry. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you still got to go Bijan Robinson if you can.
Yeah,
because of the youth factor,
Right.
Sue Blaze, thank you for super chat. He goes, it's hard to look past Bijan's elite looseness of vision. I would love to get Henry. My gut tells Bijan for 5 years. I think I read that. Thank you for the super chat. I think we read it. I'm trying to catch up. We got 577 people in here, by the way. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, you're on my channel, click the link in description. Go sub up my man Joey Shakes.
Sure.
We appreciate you guys being here. We were a little late tonight because I came home. I was up at 6 this morning. I was out. I came home at 3 o'clock because I'm going to take a little nap for an hour. I woke up. It was like 5:50 my time. So it was like 8:50. So I was like, Joey, we're gonna have to I just woke up. He's like, make it for 10. I'm like, all right.
By the way, Chris Brown says, got my draft hat. Slick. Nice.
Yes.
It was raining. It was raining all day today for me. I literally walked in the house with this hat on. So literally, I have it. My hat's sitting over there. I just didn't put it on because it was raining all day.
Yeah.
But.
Phil Milligan, thank you for super chat. He goes, PFT followed up and said it's BS per their sources. Okay. So Pro Football Talk says BS. I haven't seen that.
So where's their report that it's bullshit though?
I haven't seen anything from it. I haven't seen it. But the thing about it is, why would he tweet that out of nowhere?
Yeah,
like it's not like it's too random to not have something to it. It's just yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
Big Chris is Henry, high miles, high price. Yeah, that's truth. It's truth. House Nelson says, can't stand the wait, talk all that shit, and gotta wait months to get the payoff. Do you think the draft is like takes too long? Like, should they have the draft earlier? Like, should they have the draft and then free agency after the draft? Like, man, it just seems like the draft is such a long wait,
I think it puts teams in perspective that they're doing their jobs a lot harder, because then you have to focus on, well, what are we going to focus on the draft and give money to a certain position? What positions are we going to sign to free agency and then kind of fill that up? So I don't know. I mean, it could go either way. I think it's still a tough task regardless, but
right.
I would like it earlier, definitely, but it's a nice spaced out time. You talk about a lot of content, a lot of things that come out. So
yeah. Devo Rose says, is Bijan going to be able to get 5? No. He will not be able to get 5. He's going to have to choose another number because they retired McNabb's number. But maybe they get 0. Then he's our agent 0. That would kind of be cool. I like that. Yeah. J.D. Koch says, how will have any 3 of them offensive tackle more value than, man, you really don't like Bijan Robinson, huh? But that's all right. You'll learn a lot.
So is offensive lineman more impact? Because, all right, so obviously if they pick a lineman at 10, it's more impact because this is the guy that's going to be taking over for Cam Jurgens. If they draft a guard at 10, it would have to be a guard. It wouldn't be a tackle. It would have to be a guard.
The guy that I can't see them taking a guard at 10. Okay. But the only guy that I could see them taking is Paris Johnson Jr. because eventually he can move outside to right tackle. And that's you could start him in at right guard and then he can kick out when Lane goes. That would be the only guy. Other than that, I don't think like Skwanski, whatever the hell that gives, I don't think they're going to take him at 10 because a lot of people around the league don't think he can play tackle and he's going to be guard. I don't think they're going to use a 10th pick for interior offensive lineman. I don't think it'll happen. Toryville, thank you for super chat. He goes, hypothetical, if the Eagles would have known how good Westbrook was going to be, do you think they would have taken him at 10? That's a great question. So if you know a guy's going to be that, yeah, I would assume so. I would assume so. Listen, we talk a lot about how running backs aren't valuable, blah, blah, blah. They're not worth it. But we had 3 running backs all get franchised. 3 running backs were franchised. Why? Because it's the second contract that they don't want to pay. They're valuable with the first contract. If you get a running back who's a young guy who comes to a team that is already winning and his carries are all meaningful carries, I think it's a different story, Sydney family, thank you for super chat. He goes, Carl Banks at defensive tackle, 303 pounds, 6'3", worker, maybe a sleeper. I like it. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I feel like something's cooking right now. Like something's definitely cooking. Either whether it's for the draft or it's. I mean, we'll find out. Like obviously after the draft picks, we'll say, okay, well, what's left, post draft, and we'll see.
Yeah, I got a moron in here. I don't know if he's on your channel or mine.
I think he's yours.
Just hide him. Nobody cares about your mom. She's a dog. Stop lying. She's a dog. Rodney Wise says, get Branch with the 10th pick. Get Gibbs at the 30th pick. I mean, listen.
It would shock me.
I like Gibbs. But if we're going to say running back, you don't take a running back early. The Eagles have never drafted a safety in the first round in their history. So I think that would be less like. Plus, I think Branch. I think from. I don't know, the recent mocks that I have seen, it seems like Branch is going later in the first round than earlier, Do
you think this Buda Baker stuff is like, do you think there's some weight to it or no?
Yeah, I think that the Eagles are probably, if I had to guess, I think the Eagles are probably looking into it at least. I mean, it's interesting that Buda Baker that video like showed itself of him talking very up about Sirianni. I think the Eagles would not mind a safety. I don't think they liked what happened with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't think that was in the plans. But I don't think they want Buda Baker either to be the highest paid safety. I don't think they want to make him.
I don't think he wants to be the high. I think he already stated that he didn't want to be the highest paid safety. I think he already stated that $16 million a year. I doubt it, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. 125850 says, I want Henry and the 10th overall over Robinson and the number 10. So you want Henry and the 10th overall over Robinson and number 10.
Yeah, people don't want to spend the 10th round, the 10th overall pick on a running back. I get it. Nobody wants.
That's fine, but you just have to. What people have to tell me is, All right, well, who are we going to take at 10 instead of Robinson? Assume Carter's off the board. Assume Will Anderson Jr. is off the board. Who is going to be more impactful than Bijan Robinson at 10? I don't know of any guy. I don't believe Nolan Smith is.
No.
I don't believe it. I mean, maybe the guy I would argue with would be Paris Johnson Jr. or a lineman.
Just get Van Ness at 10.
Offensive lineman, huh?
Just get Van Ness at 10.
Oh, God. Please. Did you hear the story about Van Ness?
No.
Did you hear the story? There was a story. I don't know if this is true. I can't remember who told me this. I think it was a DM. But apparently, you know how teams, when they interview a guy, they give them playbooks or something to read, right? And then they give these guys books to read, and then they go to, at the combine or whatever. Then they come in for the meetings. They bring the book back. They put tape $100 in the book. And then they want to see who brings it back and who's like, oh, you left $100 in here or whatever. And apparently somebody said Van Ness took the $100 and denied it. It was him. You think that's true? I don't know if it's true or not.
I've seen so many mock drafts of Van Ness. Like, Van Ness is not going past the Eagles at 10. Like, I don't know what's with this guy everybody likes. Like, I think he's a high ceiling type guy, but as a situational defensive lineman, why are you going to take him at 10? Like, I don't get it.
I wouldn't take him at 10. No, I don't get it either. I mean, he's what? Like, what is he ranked defensive end? What? Like the 4th, 5th defensive end? I mean, I don't want him at 10. Talking about a guy that's not going to help you.
Who? It's like the guy last year we talked about. It's like who's the guy, the Canadian rapper or whatever. The what rapper you said?
Yeah. Oh, Drake London.
It's like I get in that type of feel with that pick for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, this is word. This is like to me. This is like Mike Mamula territory. Suo Blaze, Dave for Super Chat. He goes, a guard is not, quote, unique. There's 3 players that are unique in the top 10, Anderson, Carter, and Bijan. So we're walking away with one of them. We're praying. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's exactly right. I think that's exactly right. And I do think it's interesting that the press conference and then the Bijan thing came out at the same time. And I also think there's something to the fact that Jalen Hurts and Bijan Robinson have the same agent.
Yeah.
I do. David Super Chat goes, don't understand his fan base. For years they cried about Justin Jefferson, but they have a chance to get impact with Bijan and they say no. It's because it's been so ingrained in people's heads that you don't take running back in the first round. You don't take running back in the first round. You just don't take it. But there's never, when people say that, there's never context to that. When you talk about a team not taking a running back early in the first round, those teams are usually bad. They're very rare you're going to get a team that is just in the Super Bowl picking 10 overall, Bleeding Kelly Green, a member for 8 months of Throne Room of Dingbats, man. Shout out to you. He says, yo, 500 shakes. I messed up and I missed out on my draft 5 gear. I also waited till the last day to do my taxes. Dingbat. I did get your cigar shirt. Looks like you're making a Daniel face. Oh, is it? Yeah, Daniel face. Yeah, I know. Daniel Jones face. Yeah, definitely. But that's all right. Thank you for your support, man. We appreciate it. And listen, we'll if for some reason we do draft Bijan, we'll have a Bijan Robinson 2.0 hat ready to go. Yeah. So be here for that. Philly says, I'll take Branch or Ringo. Both are hard. I like both of those guys. Don't get me wrong. But either of those guys, I would not take at 10.
No.
I think I forget who said the comment, but yeah, unique players. You're talking about unique players at 10. That's why the Eagles felt they had to go up and get Devontae Smith at 10 after drafting a wide receiver the year before. I think there's 3 unique guys in this draft that are, non-quarterbacks, and I think Bijan is one of them. It's going to be interesting. This Derrick Henry thing came out of left field, dude.
It did.
Left Coast Eagles 2-9 says, honest question. Who do you think is the face of Philly sports? I think it's got to be. I'll give you three guys: Hurts, Embiid, and Bryce Harper would be my guess.
Obviously, yeah.
Flyers, they stink. That's all I know. John Connor says Bijan Robinson to the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys would love that, John Jones says, I wanted Ricky Williams. I wasn't like big super. I loved Ricky Williams. I thought he was going to be great, but I wasn't like super like, oh, we have to have Ricky Williams. I didn't mind the idea of a quarterback, so I wasn't. I've been more vocal about Bijan Robinson as a running back than I was Ricky Williams at the time. This is the first time I can actually remember that I was like, yeah, we need a running back in the first round. We need to go running back, So who knows? Don't forget to join the official Joey Shakes community Discord for the Eagles talk and future VC with Joey. Yes. Video chats with Joey. There's Joey's Discord for everybody.
Appreciate
so you
it.
can go
Thanks,
join
Anthony.
it. Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Banks says I was all about Ricky Williams. The funniest thing about the Ricky Williams was when Mike Ditka trades all his picks for Ricky Williams, and then he goes to the press conference smoking a cigar like he won the draft. It was awesome, dude. Sydney family, David Superchat goes, Howie will get Torrance or Jones O-line depth. I don't mind that at all. I have no problem with that. Joe Marucci says, draft the best player available. Correct. Taking the third best rated player at 10 is a very intelligent pick. I agree. It's gonna be.
I think we'll know if they trade back at 10. I think we'll know if they actually trade back.
Yeah. Steve Rose says, what if we move up with both picks? That would be crazy. Carter and Robinson, best draft ever. Look, they have the firepower to do it.
Oh, yeah.
They could go up from like 10 to 7 and then come back from 30 to like 19 or 18 or something. They could do it. Yeah. Could. John Connor says, Bijan Robinson is likely going to the Lions or the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys have a shot at him because I don't think he's going to make it to 26. There's rumors now that we have to worry about the Falcons at 8, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
The Falcons might take Bijan Robinson, which I don't understand why they would take a running back. They don't need a running back right now. They still need to rebuild. Right. I don't know that they even have a quarterback yet.
They're trying out what's his face. I don't know. I guess for this year, but
we have no idea. Bet on Yourself Media says, what up 500? And Joey, what do you think about AJ's comment about Henry? Yeah, so AJ Brown, let me see if I can pull this up. I might have his comments. So I guess he commented on getting he commented on the possibilities of getting him. So this is what AJ Brown said. I'm going to pull up the tweet. So he said, AJ Brown said, nobody has number 22. Make it happen if it's possible. And that's what he was saying about Derrick Henry. Listen, he played with Derrick Henry for years, so he knows how good he is. And yeah, that's interesting. Nobody does have that, do they?
Epps wasn't 22, wasn't he? No, 23. No,
yeah,
no,
Epps
no,
was
that
22.
was
Epps was 22.
Epps was 22. Yeah,
he's gone,
right.
but he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. So bye him.
Thank God.
Right. Paul Davis Super Chat goes, Bijan Tate reminds me of Shady McCoy. Shady was, I think, a little more elusive, but I think he's got great cutback skills.
Oh yeah.
If you watch him cut back, he cuts on a dime too. I think Shady was quicker though, but Bijan's awesome. He's going to be awesome in this league. Linda said that would be $14 million in running backs for Dallas, while adding Bijan to the Eagles would only be $6 million for all our running backs, including Bijan. Yeah, well, Dallas they already signed what's his face, right? They signed Jones from Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
they signed him as a. So they're going to draft Sean Robinson. Why would they do that?
They should draft offensive linemen. Honestly,
I'm more worried about the Falcons and the Bears. Those are two teams that could take them. You know,
the Steelers. There was even rumors about the Steelers that had interest in Jalen Carter. They might try to move up. You know, Steelers love defensive linemen as well. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like Jalen Carter's. It looks like he's going to Seattle. That's what I think.
Yeah, it might.
You know. Yeah. Jay Koch is waiting so he can tell everybody. Can't wait till Thursday to tell you I told you so. Okay. Thursday will be here soon enough, my friend. DB Cooper. Hey, DB Cooper, do you watch the Netflix series about DB Cooper? Did you see that, Joey? That was interesting. DB Cooper's the man, dude. You know who DB Cooper is?
I've heard of him.
He jumped out. He robbed a plane, and he jumped out of the plane and just disappeared. It was like, I think it was like the night before Thanksgiving in like Seattle, and he had glasses on and he had a suit, and he just calmly was on the plane smoking a cigarette and tells the flight attendant, "Come here." He's like, "I got a bomb. I'm gonna blow this plane up." And then they had to get all this money, put all the money on, took off, and he jumped out the back of the plane. Never heard from him again. Never found. Don't know if he died on the way down or what. There's a series on Netflix about it. It's pretty cool. DB Cooper said, Derrick Henry, 29 years old and been in the NFL for 7 years. He's on the downside. Yeah, he is. You're not going to get Derrick Henry for 5-6 years.
No.
Maybe it may be a year situation. I'm thinking, if I had to guess, it would probably be for only a year. So that's what I'm saying. You can't give up a second round pick for him.
No, definitely not.
Backyards Bird Podcast. Thank you for Super Chat. He goes, moving up for both could be. There's always unrestricted free agents. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So we got 545 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. Click the link in the description and go sew up my man Joey Shakes.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting.
I
know Daz was like, Daz has been on Bijan Robinson from the get-go with me. So I know that the Derrick Henry thing kind of was like, wait, what? Where did this come from? I like I said, if they got Derrick Henry, I'm not going to mind.
We actually forgot to talk about the Zacchaeus signing.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to talk about that too. We'll talk about that after we're done.
Yeah. Let me get these super chat. We'll talk about it. Paul, thank you for super chat. Goes, Bijan cuts sideways like Shady, breaks ankles. He does. He absolutely does. But he's 220 pounds. You know, that's the thing, man. I love the kid. Robert Totaro, David Super Chat goes, come on, 5 years with Robinson, with Hurts for 5 years. We need young players. Yeah, it makes sense, man. It does. It does. You're right. You're right. So I get David Super Chat. He goes, would you rather have Bijan, Henry, or Gibbs? I would want Bijan.
Yeah.
1, Henry 2, Gibbs 3. See, the thing with Gibbs, I really think if you look, okay, so think about this for a second. Trey Sermon, Rashad Penny, Derrick Henry rumors, Bijan Robinson. These are all backs that are not typically what we usually see. They're backs that are bigger and more physical. I think the Eagles are getting away from those smaller backs. I think they want a bigger back. It seems like that's what this coaching staff wants. Gibbs, I look at as, is Gibbs going to be a 3-down back in this league? He very well could be, but he might not be.
Right.
We don't know. So that would be my order: Bijan, Henry, and Gibbs in that order that you actually have it. Now, as far as the wide receiver signing, I thought it was a good signing. I thought it was another cheap, sneaky move. I think the kid has a chance to come in and compete with Quez Watkins. I do believe Quez Watkins is going to have a rebound year and will win his job. But I thought it was a good, cheap signing,
Yeah, he's he averaged like 13 to 14 yards of reception last year. His best season yet, over 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, a lot smaller. So I think the same weight as Quez. I think they're pretty much the exact same weight. I think this guy is 5'8", so he's a little bit of a smaller guy. He's twitchy. He gets separation very easily. So I think good competition. Obviously, Quez had a lot to say on social media, says I'm going to make y'all eat your words, and I'm glad. Hey, you know what? That's a good thing. I'm glad that
that's
he's
great. Thing. Great thing.
Yeah, awesome. You know what I mean? So prove to us that you're the better guy. Give him a little bit more work. All we wanted was competition. We didn't think that Quez was going to get traded. We didn't really think. We think that the Eagles really like him a lot. Obviously with the shoulder sprain and why they tried to give him. He wasn't in consistent games at the end of the year, and then kind of giving him that moment in that Super Bowl, which I don't know. I still question it till this day, but a guy for competition is good. I think both of them make the roster regardless. I think they can probably use Zacchaeus for different things since he's a smaller, more quick, twitchy type receiver. So I think it's a win-win for the Eagles. It's a reward.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little signing. I know some people got mad because they didn't know who he was, but I mean, I watched him enough before to think that he was, a good little signing. But I also think I think Quez can win that job. And that's kind of what I like. I want Quez to rebound. I'm not giving up on Quez Watkins.
Right.
Landon says, "Yo, what's up? What do you guys think about moving up that third spot and getting Will Anderson while keeping that 10th and taking B-Rob? Also, we need to get John Connor out." Oh, John Connor, is he trolling? Let him troll. We let him troll. I didn't even know he was in there. I think I answered like one thing. So, don't worry about John Connor. The Terminator's probably looking for him. But I would say to trade up to 3 and keep the 10. I don't know how you would do that.
Is it possible?
You'd have to give up the 30th pick. You'd have to give up a first-round pick next year.
Yeah.
I think you have to. I think you have to get that 10th pick would have to be involved. You probably would have to trade probably that 10 and 30th to pick. Now, if they can find a way to get Will Anderson Jr., I think he's the best player in the draft. So I would not mind. He's one of my 3 impactful players. I like the idea. Maybe if you could do it with the 10th pick and a couple seconds, and then maybe get the 30th pick and then go up and get Bijan. Maybe that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Alan, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. He goes, "We need to draft the best prospects to ever come out of France. Pound bonjour, Bijan." Yes.
Bonjour, Bijan.
I like it. Is he born in France?
Who?
Bijan?
It doesn't sound French.
Bijan?
It doesn't sound French.
Yeah, it does.
No, him.
Bijan.
I mean, he
no, but I'm saying, where was he born?
Bongiorno or Bijan? I think you're
Bijan. Bijan, my fellow.
5 days. We're gonna draft 5 in 5 days, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for super chat, by the way. MD Fury says Henry's too old. I understand. I understand that. Oh, Matt Corral. My Matt Corral jersey's hanging up and ready to go. Oh, yeah.
Can't believe we're wearing those.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, how can we not? Baron says, "I'm sorry, but I don't want Bijan at 10. If we're going to draft him, trade back." And that may be what the Eagles do. I mean, they could totally trade back. I don't look at it like a lot of people talk about like the 10th pick. I really look at it like, I don't care if it's the 10th pick. I don't care if it's the 15th pick, the 14th pick. I don't care if it's the 29th pick, the 30th. Just get it done.
Yeah.
I don't care how you do. If you could trade back a few picks and get them, do it.
They just gotta be careful because I feel like someone's ready to jump. That's why. It could be Tampa Bay. It could be, I don't know. I feel like we're going to see what happens inside the top 10 as well to see how this board is going to fall down, because obviously a lot of teams want quarterbacks right now. You can see a lot of trade-ups too.
I really wonder what's going to happen with that Arizona pick, because I think, in fact, you're Arizona, you got to be looking to trade that pick. If you could trade that pick and have a team come up and get a quarterback, like let's say Tennessee, I think you got to do it, So if Tennessee, let's say if you would have then 4 quarterbacks off the board in a row. Then you have Will Anderson and Jalen Carter still on the board. Now, Will Anderson or Carter are going to go 5. And then, you probably 6. One of them may fall to about 7. So you have an opportunity to trade up if you want to there. After that, so I think Detroit's going corner. I don't think they trade their corner if they're not going corner. I think they're going corner in the first round. Atlanta and Chicago scare me, though. Will Chicago say, you know what, we need another back to go with Fields, or are they going to be smart and take an offensive lineman? If they're smart, the Bears, they would take an offensive lineman.
Right. I believe it. Offensive and defensive lineman.
Bijan is French for mustard. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I've seen Bijan mustard, but I just thought it was
Bijan mustard.
Oh, Bijan is Bijan mustard. Oh crap! You're gonna get me in trouble. Damn, I'm gonna get throttled now. Oh, Joe, you're gonna get me throttled. I always get throttled by whatchamacallit when I put that up, and I didn't mean to. I clicked on it by accident. It was an accident, YouTube. Yeah, let's just get. I'm all for it. Let's get Bijan. Let's do it. Rose says, "Did you see Detroit has receivers suspended for gambling? They might try to get a weapon. I'm worried. A weapon. I'm worried. Yeah. I think that's stupid personally. Like, I don't think you should suspend the guys if they're not gambling on your sport. And
they're only missing 5. They're only missing 5-6 games. They're not getting suspended for a whole year. Like,
but what I don't understand is you have all these guys that are podcasts and stuff like that, and they're all their sponsorships are gambling sites. They're all gambling sites. I think as long as a player's not gambling in the NFL, I don't think you should bother with them. If they can't college football, whatever. Just my opinion. And okay, if you want to say, okay, you can't bet football, college or pros, fine, but they should be able to bet baseball, basketball.
But in all seriousness, like, they can't bet under the table. They would have some common sense to kind of like bet under the table and kind of, not be identified as an NFL player gambling. I mean, they could hire a family member to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get how these guys are getting caught. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all. But
yeah, I don't know either. Did I miss any super chats here?
The one you have on right now.
Oh, Mark Holmes in a turtleneck. What's green and smells like pork? Kermit's finger. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, I let's see. Yeah, no, I've read all these. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all. I don't think somebody said I missed super chat. I don't think I missed any.
I think you're fine.
Damn, that was nasty. Even a commander wide receiver suspended for gambling. I can understand you gamble if they gamble the NFL. I just don't understand how they could gamble or suspend them for doing something that they have nothing to do with. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Fly Eagles Fly says trading back was my thoughts a week ago, but no way now because there's so many different teams that have interest that could jump the Eagles. I think the Eagles. I mean, I think they're sitting in a spot where it's like somebody's going to want to jump Tennessee to get up to 10 if there's a quarterback left, and I think that's a real opportunity. But the thing is are you really going to go back to 19? Are you going to? How far back are you going to go? You know, that's the question. I don't know. I don't know how far you go back. I think it sounds like with Bijan, it sounds like all of a sudden there's a lot of hype that he could go in the top 9. You know, that kind of scares me.
A little bit.
Why are some scared to admit Hank Fraley is better than Kelsey? Hank Fraley, a product at Gaithersburg High School. I have a lot of friends that are very good friends with him. But he wasn't better than Kelsey. Come on now. Face Diver Super Chat. He goes, Sills has good things to say about Harry Sachs, defensive tackle out of Kent State. Your thoughts on Big Harry Sachs? I'll let Joey answer that one. What are your thoughts?
On Harry Sachs?
Yeah.
He's a hairy man.
All American.
Down below.
All American.
You know, draft day we're gonna get hit with all this. You know it's gonna get real bad. It's gonna get really bad.
Yeah. Oh, I know. DB Cooper says, these pro players from different sports know each other. They could conspire to throw games to make millions of each other.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think.
Imagine
maybe college football, but what about if a football player's betting baseball or basketball? See, I listen to all these mafia channels. You know, I like all that stuff, and they'll tell you they're like straight up like you can't. The mafia, like they used to be able to get to players and get them to throw games and stuff. In the pros, it's so hard to do it because the players make so much money now that you can't really entice them like you used to be able to. The people you get to are the refs, because the referees, they make good money, but they don't make nearly enough money for the amount of money the NFL takes in. So to me, the referees are more of a threat to throw something than the players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, how are you going to entice? What are you going to say to a starting quarterback in the NFL to throw a game? He's making how many millions of dollars? You know, it's like it's not like the old days. John Jones says, I could see Bijan in this lineup. I know. I mean, day one, Bijan in this lineup. I mean, it's scary. Like, how do you stop this offense? You have a good running game. You actually make Rashad Penny more valuable too, because he doesn't have to be the number one guy. So you're not risking the injuries. You know, I don't know. It's pretty fascinating, really.
Go back for Suo's super chat, because I think you did miss that.
I did. How far back?
I don't even know.
Let me see. I know we read a couple of his.
Yeah, he's got another one. I don't think you read that one.
Okay, well, let me go back, and I apologize.
Hold on.
If I missed it.
I see it.
Is it this one here?
Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, yep. I did miss it. You're right. Suo, I apologize, my man. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for super chat. He goes, Van Ness reminds me of George Karlaftis, hype from last year. Bums. Don't want him at all. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's Karlaftis. I don't. What kind of year did he even have? Karlaftis.
I don't even know.
I have heard nothing from him. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for super chat. I'm sorry that I missed this. John Connor, do you think you're hurting my feelings? I could care less. Keep wasting your time, but just thank you for all the help. I mean, you're keeping our numbers up, and we appreciate that. We monetize the hate here.
He had 6 sacks. He had 6 sacks with Kansas City last year.
6 sacks? Well, that's not bad.
What it says, yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty good year. Yeah, we monetized the heat. Rodney Wyatt, he says, I did a mock draft, and it had Tampa trading with the Eagles for the 10th pick and packaged Devin White. I mean, what are your thoughts on Devin? I would love Devin White, but I don't think the Eagles are going to pay a linebacker the kind of money you would have to.
No, I bet if he wants 18 to 20 million, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. Rumored to be.
Yeah. Steve says, so sick of the Bijan talk. Every time we try to get away, every time I'm like, all right, I'm kind of sick of talking about it too. Something happens. Something happens that just sucks us back in. It just does. Zach Bush, thank you for super chat, my man. Appreciate it.
But at the end of the day, I feel like there's not a lot of people out there that have their guy in this draft, even if they're right or wrong about him. Like I feel like a lot of guys stay neutral and they're afraid to say who they want to get in the draft because they're going to get a lot of backlash for it. With me and Philly, we pick our guy and we roll with it regardless. And trust me, we've had a lot. Me and Philly will text each other and we'll see all these comments and we'll be like, my God, people just can't respect the fact that we have an opinion on a guy that we just like. And people feel like we're going to be the laughing stock if we don't draft Bijan. What's your take if we don't draft Bijan? Like, are you going to be furious, or are you going to be like, life moves on? You know,
No, I'm not going to be surprised.
Right.
It's not going to be shocking. Like, oh, okay, well, that's not a surprise.
Right.
You know, that's not a surprise. I would be more pissed off about who they picked, not that they didn't pick him. So, you know, what would piss me off would be, you know, somebody like Van Ness. That will piss me off. Right. But it's not because they didn't take Bijan. It's because they didn't take a good player. I'm not going to be upset. Like if they take Paris Johnson Jr., I'm going to be happy.
Would you be like, really? Would you hate Nolan Smith at 10 as like the same level as Van Ness? Would you like hate that?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be. I would think it's too early for him. Although I think he could be very good. I would say a little too early, but I would get behind it.
No,
I'm not. The Bijan Robinson. I mean, I think the Eagles should get him. I think we've laid it out all the reasons why. But if they don't get him, I'm not. My life isn't ruined. You know what I mean? No, I'm not going to be devastated by it. So I don't expect.
We got another battle in here. We got another violent battle yet again in this chat.
Dude, what we need to do is we just need to get set up the Philly Shakedown boxing ring match. Like once a year, all the fighting, we just have a boxing match. We just do it. That'd be awesome. Just
chill out, bro. Chill. Holy crap, dude.
Who? What are they saying?
If anybody could find out where Daz lives, message me.
Oh, come on, man. Stop with that crap.
Come on, Jay Koch. Come on, dude. Don't do that.
Jay, what is up with you, man?
Hey, you've been on
I can't believe it. I don't know how you say his name. Matt Count, thank you for super chat. He goes, if we get Henry, trade up for Carter, Super Bowl bound. I think so. If you get Henry, you got to go trade up for Carter. Yeah, I think we're an hour in. I think we should end this before these guys start rioting. They can't be in the same room.
Grease the poles.
They can't be in the same room. Oh man. Anyways, I don't know. But is there anything else, man? Before we get out of here, do you want to talk about?
I think that's it, really. I mean, that was I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, now we're counting down the days now. So people are asking too about like when do you think we'll start the draft stream on Thursday?
So the draft starts what, 8:00?
Yeah.
I think we should start between an hour and a half hour early.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I could agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be around between a half hour and an hour early. We'll start. I got to see what time I can get home exactly, but I think we should start early because there's so many rumors going on at one time.
The whole day.
We'll have so much to talk about at that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But man. So it'll be about an hour early, hour and a half hour early, something like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, I think we should end it before we got riots in our chat. All right, man. So thank you everybody for being here. If you haven't clicked the link in the description, go sub up my man Joey Shakes. We will be back draft night. Draft night we go. Not to mention all the stuff we'll have out this week, but we'll be drafts Thursday night's going to be crazy.
Definitely.
And all of you guys go get happy. Stop fighting.
Yes,
we all bleed green here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyways, guys, you guys take care. We will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Peace.
Hey, we had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
running
from
a.
to get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's gotta be better, man. Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play.
We had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us. I'm upset, but the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
You literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. Yeah, we had